Hello, my name is Themba Gorimbo, and welcome to the Marcus Deacon Show.
The Marcus Deacon Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Deacon, shooting from Sin City, Las Vegas, one of the most incredible places in the world, here at Sticky Paws Studio. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode. I mentioned this earlier on. I don't normally get nervous when I do podcasts, okay, but today I was studying and watching videos on this guy all night last night, and not only last night, in the past as well. And, you know, I love interviewing these fighters. It's my passion. I get to talk to them about what they do because they are a unique blend of people. But when a fighter has a story, and I'm not talking just a story from rags to riches, I'm talking a story that was basically life and death. And then he gets to the UFC, from rags to riches, from nothing to something to everything. That's what I like to talk about. This next guy that I'm going to introduce you to right now has been through the ringer and came out on top, all the way from Zimbabwe, lost his parents at a very young age, began working in the diamond mines, witnessing murder and horrendous things before his very eyes, made his way to South Africa, studied Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and before you know it, he's in the UFC. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, those listening around the world and live on my podcast, The Answer. And I love this name, The Answer. Would you welcome to the stage? See, I'm getting all tongue-tied here. Themba Gorimbo, what's the story, my brother?
How are you, my brother? How are you, man? And firstly, man, I want to say I'm not everything. I'm not everything yet, you know. I heard your intro, great. But, like, I'm just coming from nothing. I'll be something one day. Not everything. You'll never be everything.
How do you keep your humility in what's happening to you right now? You're becoming so well known worldwide. How do you still stay humble with all this popularity coming your way, Themba?
I you know, like, many people want to say humble and stuff like that. I don't like that word personally because it's misused most of the time. Humble, most people want to use it as a way of being fake. Trying to please the world. For me, I just remain myself, you know, like me or hate me, you're going to find out who I am all the time. And, you know, I'm human too. I make a lot of mistakes. So I don't think I stay anyway, except to stay me, Themba, and trying to be better Themba every single day. That's what I try to be. I don't like the word humble, not because I don't, it's a word that people use it. I feel, in my own opinion, I feel like people use that word like
loosely. They use it loosely.
I don't agree with many things, and, you know, like, I'm also entitled to my opinion. So,
So if there was a comparison word that you would use to describe yourself, what would it be?
I'm myself.
Just yourself.
I'm myself. What you see is what you get with me. You know?
Yeah.
I'm human too, and I have my own flaws, and you know, I try to make less of those on every single day, but, you know, it is life. We are not meant to be perfect. We are humans.
Just going back, and I know people have heard your story before. We're just going to touch on it really briefly, just because it's so fascinating to me. And what's really fascinating to me about it, Themba, is the extraordinary power of your mind that you must have had at a young age. As a young man, losing their parents that young, and I just lost my father a year ago, and I know how much it destroyed me. As a young man, where did your mindset come from, your powerful mindset?
Honestly, like, you know, I grew up in Zimbabwe, as you all know, and you know, I don't know what my mindset is like personally as a person. There's times and places where I feel maybe my mind is a little bit weaker than it should be, and there's, you know, where I use my emotions more. I'm a very emotional human being, you know, and, you know, I walk with my heart on my sleeve, and sometimes it gets me in trouble mentally for me. You know, I've got my mental struggles as a person, you know. Like, growing up, I'll tell you, you know, I grew up with my mother and my father, and, you know, my father growing up used to beat me a lot, you know, and people don't know, like, it's a normal thing, actually, you know, for a parent in Africa to beat you. But my father was not beating me in a normal way. He used to beat me with his fists sometimes.
Out of discipline or anger?
I think my father was both discipline and anger. I was a little bit naughty as a child, and I was never that normal child. So, like, my father would beat me um, with his hands to a point where I'll bleed and stuff like that. And he would never care or anything. Like, he would beat me. But what hurts me more is that, like, he would beat me. Sometimes not because of me. Sometimes my brother would do something, and he I don't know. Like, my brother was never beaten up in front of me where I know of it.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest, and I'm the one that was always getting it. Maybe I was the naughtiest, but that maybe changed my mindset from being a child. Like, I grew up with a lot of anger, a lot of anger. I still have a bit of that even to this day. Um, I think maybe that's why I am where I am right now, because those things. I'm an honest person in a way. Like, when I look back in my life, when my father used to beat me like that, there were times and moments in my life I wished my father died. I wish, like, someone would just kill him, because he was a little bit horrible to me. Not a little bit, a lot horrible to me, and beat me. And it is not nice to wish that. And when the reality kicked in and when he died, it was not nice. Then that's when I realized what I wished for, was never nice, because like now life, is a little bit tougher. But yeah, man, my mother died first, my father died after, and life turned out south. And yeah.
Do you think that the relationship that you had with your dad, being that he was so bad to you, and first of all, I'm sorry that that happened to you, do you think that made it easier for you to deal with his passing?
No. When my father died, I was very, very broken. Especially if I go into detail with what happened when he died and the XYZ, to this day, like, I have not forgiven some of the people that were there. Like, I was in the rural area. My father was sick in town, and they came to the village, and they took my brother alone to go and see my father for the last time before he died, and they left me in the village. And it hurts me. To this day, it hurts me, because like in an African culture, it almost has a message. It's that is being sent to you. Maybe you don't belong in the family. Maybe your father didn't really love you, and then you start questioning yourself in life, because my father used to really beat me physically with his own hands, and then just before he died, it feels like, okay, cool, he called my young brother only. Why didn't he call me? You're still asking those questions as a person. But like, when when I had like the body view when he died and stuff like that, I was broken. Not knowing that he was a strong man. Don't get me wrong. My father, I loved him too. It was a hate and love relationship. He made life easier for me as well. Like, sending me to good school. He wanted me to always be number one in school. So that's where sometimes he would beat me for coming out second in school. Like in Zimbabwe, we've got grades. So it's either number one, number two, number three. So he would require you to be number one in your class and number one in your stream, like out of 4 classes. And you have to be number one there. And, he would beat you for that. If you just come out number 2 out of the stream, you can come out number 1 in your class, but not in your stream, because sometimes it is very tough and competition is tight. And if I come out number 2, oh my God, bro, like he was not nice. And it was a good lesson. He wanted me to do well and better in some things. And I feel like it was a little bit harsh. And yeah, man, I didn't. To this day, it still eats me. I'm 32 now. I'm talking about it.
Do you think that, in a sense, the way that your dad treated you when you were growing up,
we like to call it father, not dad.
The way that your
I think dad.
Fair enough, absolutely.
Dad for us, it's a little
bit
soft.
less. Yes, okay.
It's a little bit so.
Your
father.
Your father. Do you think that the way that he treated you growing up, obviously, maybe there's a little bit of fuel in you from that, Themba? Maybe do you take some of that into the cage with you at all? Do you use that pain as fuel?
I don't know, but I'm a very, very emotional and angry human being. In so many ways, and I react a lot to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I make a lot of mistakes as a person. But God blessed me with one ability that I think and I must be grateful of. That is the ability to work hard. And that's why I'm always trying to train, because when I don't train, I get a little bit aggressive. I get a little bit annoyed.
You trained today, right?
Yeah, I've already trained. And I'm training again after this.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Like when I'm not training, when I'm not working, I have to. Even if I'm not giving my best, like even if I'm not at my best, I would rather be in training, sweating and stuff like that. I don't know how I'm gonna handle this when I stop fighting.
Yeah.
But I have to be, it's a let.
You got to do it all the time. Yeah, it's an outlet for you. Yeah.
It's an outlet for me,
Yeah.
And I don't know how to balance it, and it's life.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I know about, this is what I was told by Zimbabwe people, they have an amazing sense of humor and they love Australians. Is that true? Mm-hmm. People from Zimbabwe have a great sense of humor and they love Australians.
Are you from Australia?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the animals in my country are nearly as vicious and deadly as the animals in your country. The kangaroo will rip your eyes out and
really?
say, oh, of course.
We grew up watching Skippy.
Skippy the bush kangaroo. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly, there's a bit of Australian.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that you know that, Themba. I'm more impressed now.
I can't remember anything, but I remember that. Skippy the bush kangaroo.
Yeah, well, they can be a little bit of a pest in Australia sometimes. So sometimes,
is it a real thing, that thing?
Yes, real, but sometimes they're in...
the movie, Skippy the bush kangaroo. Was it a real thing or what?
No, so it was a TV show back in the 70s for Australian kids, and then they made a movie out of it. But kangaroos can be trained and are like, not just rural, you will see...
Was that a trained kangaroo that acted that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
A real life kangaroo?
A real life kangaroo.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Do you know much about Australian animals?
No, I only know that the kangaroos, but I also I know about
koala.
I don't know the koala, but I heard that you guys have got a lot of crocodiles.
Yes, big ones.
And I'm a big fan of crocodiles. I love crocodiles. They are ruthless. They are smart and immortal.
They are ancient and they've been around for millions of years. Yeah. So their resilience to life is just incredible.
It's my favorite animal. I call them in Africa, I try to say that the lion is not the king of the jungle in my own perception and my own opinion. I think the crocodile, because I love the crocodiles, I said they are the king of the jungle because they're not scared of anything.
No.
If you are inside the water, they're eating you.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes not very smart because sometimes they'll attack an elephant. I'm like, bro, you are too small for this.
Yep.
But it's life.
Yeah.
And I like crocodiles,
Were you close to a lot of wildlife when you were younger growing up, Themba? Was wildlife close to you?
After my father passed away, most of the time because also to get by, I would go to school, but I would then bunk school to go hunting with dogs.
Like in Australia, they do the same thing, hunt pigs with dogs.
Yeah, we unlucky. We didn't have the pigs. We had the rabbits.
Rabbits.
Yeah. So you learn how to to hunt, and I had one of my good friends, Jonas. So we used to hunt a lot of rabbits.
Is there like a figure that people look up to, like kids look up to in Zimbabwe when they were younger, like someone on TV or a great hunter or something like that? Is there someone particular?
I mean, growing up, the only person that a lot of people looked up to in Zimbabwe, probably in Africa, was Peter Ndlovu. Peter Ndlovu was a soccer player, was the first African player who played in England.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Premier League. He was the first African player to play in the Premier League.
Yep.
When he played for Coventry. So
Coventry?
Yes.
Bro, this is weird that you just said that.
Yeah.
Bro, you know where I was born?
Uh-huh.
In Coventry.
Oh, really?
And then I moved to Australia when I was 4 years old. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
really?
born in Coventry Hospital.
Yeah. He played for Coventry.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know. I think you played there in 1991 or 1990.
Yeah, I think didn't they win? Didn't they win one World Cup one year? It was the only time they ever...
Not World Cup. It was a team.
Was it
so
the FA Cup or something?
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but
Are you a soccer fan then?
Yeah, I'm a soccer. To
Yeah.
this day, I'm
You
trying
still
to
like
get John to hook me up with a ticket to go watch Messi. I don't support Messi. I'm a Ronaldo fan.
I'm a Ronaldo fan as well. Number 7. Number 7.
Yeah, for some reason he wears number 7 too.
He wears number 7. You had $7 in your bank account. 7 is your lucky number. And you know what the thing is? When you start seeing that 7 everywhere, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start seeing it more and more and more.
Man.
What's the significance to 7 for you, Themba? The number 7.
7 starts like, yeah, I don't know. It's just my number. Firstly, in high school, I passed 7 subjects. I wrote 9, I passed 7. I failed 2. Yeah, the ones I failed, I didn't write.
Yep.
I registered them. That was mathematics. I didn't write because I didn't like the teacher. And I was not really interested in it. So I showed up to the exam, sat there at my stuff while people are writing the exam. It was almost like a break for me to just chill up in the exam. Came out with a U, that is ungraded. And then I failed, the second subject I failed was building because I also didn't like the teacher. But yeah, it's just something like, like if I don't like something, I don't like to be forced to do something.
Yeah.
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 So I do things out of my will, and like if I don't like something, I don't pretend.
Yeah.
So the 2 teachers that I didn't like, I didn't pass their subjects. I thought I was fixing them by not passing, whereas I'm fixing me in my own life, because now mathematics in Zimbabwe, you need mathematics in anything that you do. Like English and mathematics, they are the most important things. For you to go anywhere further in life.
Yeah. And I sucked at both of them.
Yeah, me, I don't think I sucked because, when I was still in primary school, I passed mathematics very well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Form 1 and Form 2, I was doing well in mathematics.
Yeah.
Then we just crossed paths with the teacher, and I never liked him, and his subject was not part of my...
What you wanted to do. But the 7 keeps popping up everywhere, right?
Yeah, no, like it started there, like 7 subjects in high school. And then, having to be like, just 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 Hindi, where we are.
Yeah. Mine's 1, 1, 1.
Yeah.
1, 1, 1.
Actually, it started from primary school, 7 units. I passed with 7 units, seven subjects. It just carries on and carries on,
7 girlfriends when you were growing up, maybe?
Nah, not that. I hardly had any.
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't either, bro. I hardly had any either.
Yeah, man. I didn't look good. I don't look good.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I tell you what. When it's speaking about family, I wanted to bring this guy up because I saw him on your Instagram. And he just made me smile and laugh so much. You have a 91-year-old uncle, right?
Yeah.
And I seen him like making some moves on this American girl and saying, "Hey, take me to America." And he's 91, and he seems like he's 61. Where does he get his longevity from? And is he close to you in your life, your uncle?
Yeah, that's my uncle. His name is Ben.
Yeah. Shout out to Ben.
But they call him Witty. That's his nickname, because anytime it's tea time with him, you can be sitting with him here right now talking, and you can start a fight with anybody. And that's how he was. And he was in the army. And what's funny enough, like growing up, like apparently in the army, I was not born when he was in the army. In the army, they were like during the war in Zimbabwe, they were the don't take this literal like in other way people now, but there was the white side and the black side, and he is black, obviously, but he was on the white side.
Yeah. Really?
He was in the army, but on the white side. So he was well trained and everything there.
So that's where you got the English from?
Yeah. That's where he got the English from. He's very smart.
Yep, seemed very smart. Switched on for 91.
Yeah, very switched on. And the reason, he's the firstborn in his family. And everybody, I think they were born 12 of them. And he's the only one alive. Everybody is dead.
Wow.
And one thing that I've learned from my uncle growing up, like it didn't look good when it was happening. Because, it's a world where you need to be doing what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
But you can be at a funeral, food is coming towards him because he's one of the elders. And in Africa, the elders eat first and they are served first. And when the food is coming towards him, sometimes he would refuse the food that is directed to him. He would say, nope. And he will look at anyone and a random person and say, bring that food to me. Why? Because he didn't trust people that the food that is coming towards him might have poison inside it.
Really?
Yeah, because of the army. Coming back to it, because what he used to do in the army, they used to poison beef cans and throw it away, when they get ambushed by the gorillas, and the gorillas is the other side of the black side. They were called the gorillas in the guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So during that, they will run away, but they will leave the beef as if like they were
They had to get away quickly, and then the other guys would come and eat it.
The guys eat it, then they die from the beef.
Yeah.
So he knows how to like how they used to use poison a lot.
Yeah.
With I think so. He's very switched on. That's why I think he lived long. He's very, very. He does not trust anybody. He does not trust even me. He does not trust like when we got there. No, like he does not trust.
Wow.
He does not trust anybody, even his own wife. They eat, like, if the wife serves food, they're eating in the same plate. Wow. Where you ate is where he's eating.
Wow.
He does not trust even his own wife. Like, that's how crazy he is. Like, it is. But look at him. My uncle has lived the longest, because, also, like, because he beats a lot of people up. Even to this day, people are scared to go there. Where he stays, it's a no-go area.
Yeah.
Like, when I went there now to visit, like I said to some of my cousins who are in like late 30s, I said to them, let's go to his house. They were like, no. I said, why? I said, no, we'll get a fight there and get beaten up or something. We don't want. Then they were even scared for me to take the guys that were from the UFC that were filming. They said, no, you must not go with these guys because they might get hurt. Then I said, no, he likes me. I know my uncle likes me. And, because growing up also people nicknamed me after him. So I'm one of those people, like, he likes me more than he likes his own kids. Yeah. So, like, I knew, like, okay, cool, I'm just going to go there. I got there and he screamed from far, who is that? And, I introduced myself because he can't see properly. And this is one thing, my next fight, I'm dedicating my fight to fixing his eyes. I'll auction my fight kit and try to raise money to fix my uncle's eyes so he can see again, because I would like him to get to like 100, 120, because he's healthy, as you can see. And yeah, man, imagine we fix his. I fix his eyes. I get this kit from my next fight, dedicated to and fix his eyes, and because it's not a big problem, it's cataract. And I didn't know that those things are...
you can fix it.
You can fix it. I didn't know. But he can't raise that money himself. It's a lot of money. And, I can use the platform that I have right now to do that for him. And then he can get his eyes fixed, and maybe, I think he's a character, and maybe we can get him a phone and he can get on TikTok. I think he can make a lot of money, that guy, from TikTok, a 91-year-old TikToker, I think he can make a lot of money, and he can appeal a lot to the Western world, because he's himself. He does not care, and that's how I think. And yeah, man, it's just.
I like how you like to share the wealth, that you like to use your platform just to help others. You're obviously surrounded by some great people in your life. Jason House is one of the greatest managers on the face of the earth, and just such a sweetheart of a guy. The way that he runs his organization like a family. He actually cares about his fighters and loves them like parts of his family.
Yeah. It's also like, Jason, like, yeah, man, Jason is...
You always get a smile on your face when you talk about Jason House.
Yeah, I do, because, I love Jason, our relationship goes way back in 2020. During the COVID days, and I messaged him randomly on Instagram, to get managed by him, and I don't think he had anyone that he was managing in Africa, and I was the first guy that messaged him from Africa and say, hey, probably. Maybe many others, but I'm the first guy that I know of that got signed to Iridium. And, we have our ups and downs. I'm, like I said, an impatient person. I'm emotional. Where I'm like forceful. I'm like, Jason, please get me in the UFC. Get me in the UFC,
He gets that, bro. He gets that.
Yes. Because also, like, he gets a lot of people in, like, if you are an athlete and if you're a fighter and you want a manager that can get you to the UFC and you're fighting on the regional circuit, I think for me personally, because I've done my research, the best manager that can get you to the UFC is Jason House. Not to say that the other guys are not doing their jobs and whatsoever. I feel like Jason House is smarter. He's also not there in the public eye for people to see him.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that.
Yeah, and also like we talk about him. He does not see like he does not care about being being out there
Famous and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, what he cares about is to get his job done, and
Yeah.
that's what he does, you know.
Yeah.
And he's training and keeping his, you know, his health, you know, and stuff like that.
Yep.
And you know, as an athlete, you don't want to have a manager that you are competing for the spotlight with.
Yeah, and there's a few of them out there. I won't mention any names.
Yeah, where managers trying to compete for the spotlight with their
Athletes,
and then that stuff rubs people a little bit wrong and stuff like that, and then you know people get turned off with that stuff.
Yep.
And then also like now your attention is on many things. You are trying to be a star and a manager at the same time, whereas Jason, his job is trying to be a manager, the best possible manager possible out there. And man, may God bless him and his
Great
family,
guy.
and I hope, you know, he keeps doing great.
Yep.
And yeah, man, that's why I say like, and also he's not a yes man. Like literally this morning, you know, I tried to convince him on certain things so that I can get on a certain cards and stuff like that. And you know, he straight up tells me
He knows what's best, right? That's his job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what is happening, what is best,
Yeah.
and you know, like I listen to him.
Yeah, he's when I first started podcasting and I got introduced to Jason House, he gave me so many of his athletes to interview. He really, really helped me in the beginning of my career when I started doing this. So I owe Jason House a lot, and I'm glad that you're with him. And then you've got great guys like this man over here, John. You know, and can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with John from Riz Pharma? How did you get caught up with this absolute legend of a man who came into my life just recently and has kind of blown me away? With
John. So same as Jason, it is Instagram, right? We talk on Instagram, me and John. You know, with everything that has been happening with my life after that last fight that I won in May, and we started talking and speaking, you know, as randoms. And you know, like with people, I think like in life and people, there's times and places for people and that are meant to be in your life. And we know we just started communicating and stuff like that. And one of the main things that, you know, like I really to this day I'm grateful for John is being able to help one of my boys back in Africa, coming back to the cataract, the eye problem. So there was a boy, I used to own a gym in South Africa, and one of the boys that was in the gym had a problem with the eyes. With the eyesight, and I was training here in America. I didn't know nothing about what was happening back home. I got back, then people telling me this kid can't see out of his left eye, and the other one was also coming blind. Then I'm like, damn, this is terrible. I didn't.
How old was this boy?
He's 21.
21, young kid.
He's got a bright future, you know, if he chooses to continue fighting. And I was like, I don't know how to help this guy. And you know, I made a few posts, and John helped with the money for the operation to fix this guy's eyes. And you know, he sent the money, and he also donated some money for the first borehole that I did there in my village. And for me, that, you know, like big or small, whatever someone does out of their heart, trying to help without any benefit or anything like that,
Says a lot about a man, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says a lot about the person, and you know, like. That's how far we come, me and, you know.
So he came out of nowhere to help you dig a massive hole in the ground to get water for your friends, your family, and your people, and you didn't even know this.
Yes.
You didn't even know.
I didn't even want the kit. He didn't get the kit.
What?
The kit went to Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
The fight kits that I was auctioning.
Unbelievable.
You know? So, and then, you know, he decided to sponsor me, and he was sponsoring me without Riz Pharma. I didn't know there was no Riz Pharma yet. The Riz Pharma was getting launched.
Yeah.
And he told me, okay, cool, I want to sponsor you with Riz Pharma. We're going to launch, I think it was June, July. And, you know, but he was sponsoring me already without having to have the company on thing, you know.
Yep.
Just out of his heart, helping me out. And just before the rock thing that happened, he was even vouching to get me a place where I could bring my family to, and
That's so good, man.
to rent out a place for me in his name, because I didn't have any credit in America. So like,
Wow.
this is the type of person that he is, and I'm very grateful, brother. I'm very grateful of this, and yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm not the best of the people. I'm not the perfect person in life, but I'll try to pay it forward as much as I can. It's the only way, because like, if you say I want to pay him back, I'll pay back.
You're lucky we don't have a camera, John.
No, I don't think I can pay back. Just like with The Rock, he even said to me, bro, you don't owe me nothing. Just pay it forward, And the only way I can do that is trying to help 1 or 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, maybe 5, 6. If it gets to 100, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Even if it's not money, even if it's not, just inspire someone to go out there and take a chance on themselves in life, and roll the dice of life, good or bad, be grateful of it, and go out there and try to be something in your life. And I pray to God, and I work so hard. I think I work hard, not so hard. I work hard, and I try to be what I want to be, that is to become a UFC welterweight champion. And I truly believe I will become a UFC welterweight champion. And when I look in the division, and when I look at everybody in the division, I look at them, I'm like, they are very tough fights. But I don't.
The welterweight division is stacked full of killers, my brother.
Yeah, the welterweight division is stuck and full of killers. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to navigate through it, but God is going to find a way for me to become a champion. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I know this. And
when you got people like The Rock and Jason House and John in your life, and you got all these people that are supporting you, brother, I think it's just a matter of time.
I have to put in the work.
Absolutely. I mean,
I'm the one that is going to have
it's on your shoulders, yes.
I'm you can have great support, you can have all these things in life, which is very amazing, which is very great, and you are lucky to have those things as a person. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I'm going to have to step in there and give it my absolutely all. And, God, helps those who help themselves. I have to go out there and do my best to fight, man, to fight and rise and become, roll these dice of life.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. And you have to have that attitude, man. And you know what? What a lot of people don't understand, you also have to have the Lord in your life. You have to have God behind you, backing you up and guiding you the right way to go. A lot of people don't realize that having the strength of the Lord on your back, and as your I don't want to say sidekick, but as your go-to father, you can't fail.
Yeah, look, we don't know. We cannot say that you can't fail. Failure is described differently.
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe my path was to inspire to this day, to now only. Maybe my path is to inspire before or whatsoever. He knows what we will become. We try to just we try to
navigate our way
our way, but He knows, bro.
Yeah.
God knows where we are going,
Yeah.
and we should just
trust in Him and just let
him.
Him.
But it's very hard because
It is because we're mortal.
We think we want to do everything ourselves, and one day at a time.
Yeah.
Like I'll just try to work as hard as I can to give my best in every training session. And one day I will become a champion. I know this and I believe this. And
You got a time frame on that, Themba? You got
my time frame is not important. My time frame is a human time frame.
Yeah.
God's time frame is the best time frame. So
Absolutely.
I have my time frame. I have my time frame.
Yep. And you're 32, right? You're very young still.
No, I'm not young. I'm young yesterday, not today. I'm older today than I was yesterday. I don't look at that. Those things.
But I meant as far as like physically, you don't really have any injuries. You're still maybe just you haven't even hit your prime yet, brother.
Nah, in this sport, you are always gonna be having something sore and that. And I don't know about those things of prime. I don't think for me, it's non-existent. It's about your mind, where you are.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
What you want. You can be 40 and not mature.
Yeah.
You can be 20 and mature.
You can be 53 and not mature.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, not mocking on anybody, but I'm just saying, like, all I would try to be is try to be the best version of myself every single day. Whether I succeed at it or I fail at it, It's life. It's
Yeah.
how it is life.
And
What can
those
I do?
words right there is what we call a perfect segue right here. We're talking about being the best you can be. Riz Pharma is the official sponsor of today's episode. Now, listen, guys. Wellness, male wellness is something that all of us need, especially when you get to my age, 53 years of age, hair starts going back, things don't work as good as they used to. Maybe your back's a bit sore and you don't have much energy. Then you have to talk to Riz Pharma. These are the guys that can change the game for the way that you feel. Guys, do you have EDD? I can't even say it because yes, I have it. Is your hair receding a little bit? It is. Well, then we got to get onto this. Riz Pharma, guys. We are going to put all the descriptions and the link, and I'm going to put John's Instagram in the description right at the bottom of the podcast. Guys, it's something that I really and truly believe in when it comes to teeth therapy, when it comes to EDD tablets, when it comes to wellness, my hair falling out, thickening it up. Why wouldn't you want to feel, look, and be younger? Riz Pharmacy. I'm going to put all the details in. They are proudly sponsoring this episode. So yeah, getting back to what we were talking about, I just wanted to just touch on this because I was watching the video on The Rock with you on The Rock last night. And one thing that I really noticed when I was watching that video, obviously, you know, the reaction when you first saw him was just incredible and we were all crying at home. But one thing I really noticed was The Rock's face. When The Rock hugged you and when you were showing your gratitude to him, the look on his face was a look that I don't think I've ever seen him pull before. I've never seen his face look like that. I think it was a look of pride and it was a look of he was thankful and I don't want to say he felt sorry for you, but I could see that he was glad to be in your life. What was that first moment like when you saw this larger than life character? And second part of the question, is he really that big in real life?
Yeah, I'm trying to relive that moment. I try not to watch that video. I think I've watched that video maybe. I don't want to watch it because I cry every time I watch it.
Well, I sent him a video of watching it last night with the cry emoji because me and my wife were crying as well. So
Yeah, whenever I watch that video, I cry. Especially that time when I was crying, I cry again. So I don't want to keep watching that.
yeah.
No, like for real. Because I know exactly how I was feeling as a person in that moment in time. So
Let's roll the clip right now. No, I'm only kidding.
No. Like, yeah, I try not to watch that video. Like, yeah.
Can you describe that first initial when like you turned around and you saw him right there? Was it disbelief or did you think what was the first thought you had?
I thought, my God, I don't know how to say it. I want to put it in a way that is describable. No, like when I saw him, I don't know, bro. I don't.
I would
know
have
how-
absolutely shit myself. That would have been my first when I first saw him. That's what I would have done. But I could feel the energy, and it was such a great moment.
I don't know how to actually put it together, but what I can tell you is that I felt something that I've never felt in my life as a person, and I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Because like in my heart, my thing and my emotion and my heart, my everything feels like I wanna become a champion so badly. And when I saw him, the first thing I told him that I'm gonna become a champion. I
love that part. You
And
promised him, brother. You said, yes, brother, I promise you I'm going to be
yeah,
champion.
no, because I didn't have to say that to him. I didn't know what was planned for me by him. I didn't know anything. I just cried and I told him that I'm gonna become a champion. And for you, like for myself and for everybody, it's rare for people like that to be present in front of you. Firstly, this is Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Someone that I grew up watching WWE, walking 5 kilometers to the growth point on a Saturday or Sunday to watch through the window.
Did you tell him this story, Themba?
Yeah. To watch through the window with my friends, and then the following day on a Monday at school, we practicing these moves on each other on the desks. And then you walk 5 kilometers back to watch. You walk 5 to watch, 5 back. And to just watch WWE for an hour, bro. Like, this is like crazy. And to have him in front of my face and my life, it was surreal, but you have to. I don't know like how to say it, because when you think of it, how many people have been in this position in their life?
I don't think any, not many, a handful, bro.
I don't know if there is any in the UFC or any in this sport or any in this.
I've never seen it
in this position.
No.
So it's just like, it's something that there's things that in life that happen to you that you cannot describe, and it's one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's things in time. I don't like, even with him in his own life, I don't think he has had that opportunity like he gave me, and I'm very grateful.
Wow.
I'm very grateful.
Would you consider him your friend now?
Man, I don't know. It's more than that, you know. For me, it's more than, you know. It's someone. It's someone that is like, you know. He gave me.
Yeah.
A
Selfless. That's great.
he gave me a head start.
Yeah.
In the United States of America.
That's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful.
He gave
wow.
my family a head start in the United States of America. It's rare to have something like that. And for me to have him in my life, supporting me the way he does, bro, sometimes I'm tired, but, you know, when I remember that this guy is helping me, you know, I want to work hard all the time, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
It's something that, yeah.
You don't have to explain to me, because I can kind of feel what you're trying to say without any words. It's just I can just see
if
you.
You say as a friend, like I can be friends
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's more than that to me, you know.
The Rock is more than that to you. That's awesome, brother.
Yeah, I like if you say a friend now, man. Like
Family.
It's something that is
Very special, yeah.
Yeah, it's more than anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Yeah.
That's how I can say it.
You know what? I've always loved The Rock. I've loved his movies. I've loved his wrestling, and I've always loved The Rock. But I've got to say, I love him even more now, hearing this story and watching that video.
But, you know, like in life, they were when you were born, there were places God already put that you're gonna be here.
Yeah.
And for me, like when I look at it, to be in this position, like, you know, when I talked about me having the $7 in my bank account, I didn't know about the Rock $7. But then when people started talking about it, I was like, oh, $7. Because then when he spoke about it, when he tweeted about
He had
it,
$7 too or something, right?
Yes. Then I remember the $7 production.
Oh, that's the name of his production company?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
So
this was aligned, brother. This has been aligned in your destiny,
but like
right?
For me, like having to lose my first fight in the UFC,
But you're the second chance man, the Cinderella man. You're the comeback king, brother. That's what you do. You get that inspiration from that loss, and you turn it around like that.
Yeah. Like,
that's another skill, brother. You know that, right? That's another skill.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it. Like, I looked at that loss. I was like, this is a blessing loss. I was 9 out of 10 times. I was not supposed to lose that fight. I was the better fighter in that fight.
Yep.
Shout out to AJ Fletcher, and thank you, AJ Fletcher, for the loss. Because you know what? If I didn't lose that fight, my life would not be the same right now. Thank you so much. It's a blessing to have lost to you. But 9 out of 10 times.
People thought that you won that fight.
No. I got choked in the fight, so I got finished. So no, but if you watch the fight, go watch the fight. Even himself, after the fight, he told me in that cage, he said to me, brother, you've got a bright future. You are very good. That's what he said to me. You have got a bright future. You are very good. And like I was the one doing a lot of things until I didn't lose the fight. How do I say it?
Yeah, you learned from the fight.
I learned from the fight, but the fight was it was meant to be.
Yep.
It was meant to be for me. It was meant to be for him.
Yeah.
You know,
but then you came in, your next fight, dominated. TKO finish against a good opponent.
Let me put it together. It was not a TKO finish. It was a boring decision. I'm honest, but I want to put it together from the fight with AJ. So from the AJ fight, I got there. Okay, cool, got choked. But I know that I was the better fighter. I was supposed to be the one winning that fight and everything.
Just bad luck on that day. One of those things. Yep.
It happens. It was not meant. It was not meant to be for me. It was meant to be for him.
Yeah.
then I went back home. 3 days later, I got an eviction notice. I had a promise to the lady that where I was renting that I wanted to buy the house. And I said to her, after my first UFC fight, I'm gonna get a bonus, and I'm gonna get the money that I get from the UFC, and I'm gonna put the money down and buy the house. And she, obviously, the house was also not in the state where she wanted it to be. When she came, then she was expecting her money. She was expecting me to buy the house. I couldn't afford to buy the house anymore. I had lost the fight, and when you're starting in the UFC, you're starting on a I can't mention how much I was getting paid, but it was very less, and I got home with like very little money. I'm not complaining. I'm very happy with what I got in the UFC, because before that I was getting paid less and less because
Yeah,
upon other
yeah.
shows. So I got there without anything, and then I lost on the 18th of February, and on the 23rd of February I had the eviction notice from her to say, hey man, you need to be out of this house before this end of the month. And I was out of the house before the end of the month. It's something that I never had really made public and stuff like that. And it was not her fault. It was my fault, because I was the one who lost the fight. And I was the one who made the promise that I wanted to buy the house. And now I'm in a position where I couldn't buy the house. But I think things should have been done better. Have a little bit of remorse. But
Yeah.
I understand also the house was not in a state where because me, I thought I was gonna win the fight and I'll buy the
Yeah.
house. And when the house becomes mine, then I would fix other things that were that were broken and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So shout out to her. Like it was a blessing, because when
Yeah.
this happened, also I was, I think, living above my budget as a person.
Story.
No, yeah, I was living above my budget. The house was a little bit expensive, but my dream was to buy the house
Yeah.
because it was in a safe area. In South Africa, you need a safe area where you can think.
Yep.
And then I moved out, went to a cheaper place, and then when we were there in the cheaper place, life, life did what life does.
Yep.
And I started realizing certain things around me and certain people around me, and I realized, being here in South Africa, I'm not speaking bad about the country. It gave me the opportunity to be where I am. If there was no South Africa in my life, there wouldn't be me right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to go to Germany, to train in Germany. And my friend Simon Bion was in Germany training there, and I wanted to go there. And I tried to go apply for the visa to go to Germany, and they told me that my workers' permit in South Africa was about to expire, so they wouldn't allow me to get to was expiring on the 8th of April, and the visa might take. It was in March when I applied for this visa, and the visa might take 4 or 5 weeks, so they would not allow you to apply for a visa. So they rejected me, and then I looked at myself. I'm like, oh, what's the next available option? I said, I've got a visa to be in the USA. Why can't I just go to a USA? Then I just randomly, when I was still in the embassy, I saw the picture of Kobe Covington with Coach Daniel Valverde, and I messaged Coach Daniel Valverde. I just said to myself, this is a sign from God telling me go there. I messaged him and I said to him, I want to come train. And then he says to me, the room is available on the 18th of April. I said to him, Coach, I want to come now. I can stay on the mats, sleep on the mats. I don't care. I just want to live here, and so I can find myself again and train there for 4 weeks and then come back here and then prepare for my fight. I just was going to go to Miami to train as a pre-camp for a fight, because I was promised that I was going to fight in June. And then I got to Miami, and when I was in Miami training was going well. I fit in very well, and things were going great, and I was in shape and ready to fight. And a week before I was about to go back to Africa, I was supposed to fly back to Africa on the 29th of April. A week before that, I was getting sad because I knew if I went back to Africa, I was going to fail myself, because I didn't have any money. I had a return ticket to go back to Africa, but there was no contract signed for me to fight again. So it was a little bit of a tough situation, because then now I'm thinking to myself, normally when I go back home for my daughters, I'll bring something, but now I'll bring nothing when I go back to Africa for them. So I was getting a little bit sad. Then I just took a leap of faith, messaged my manager Jason House, and messaged Sean Shabby at the same time, and said to them, if anyone pulls out of the fights in the next week card, please put me in, And a day later, they came with a fight for me to fight Takashi Sato. Won that fight by decision. I had no money in that fight for some reason. So in the UFC, you get weekly allowance in the fight week. And,
Just the fight week.
No, for food and for your coaches. And
Right.
So you get an allowance that you get.
A per diem, yeah.
Yes. For some reason, I don't know who does this at UFC, who works at UFC. 2 weeks before the fight, they paid me my money. They were supposed to pay me the week of the fight. They paid me 2 weeks before the fight. Over 2 weeks before that, they paid me the money. And I was actually in a situation where I didn't have money. So I was happy to have the money. And I sent some to my back home to my wife. And I knew that fight week, I thought maybe they made a mistake to pay me the money. They'll make another mistake fight week and send me another one, And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And then I woke up sick on the day of the fight with flu. And I had $87 left. And I ordered medicine and all kinds of stuff, and they costed $80, and I was left with $7.49. And that's when I posted about the $7. Why did I post about that? People want to know probably. I had $7 because, and I posted that bank balance of $7 because when I woke up in the morning, when I paid for this medicine, then when I went back to my app, the Bank of America app, I looked and I saw it was $7.49, and I had to wake up and buy food for my teammates and my coaches again, I thought to myself, I don't have money, but you know what? I'm going to fight today. I'm not going to pull out of this fight. I must just hide away from everybody that I'm sick and go out there and fight. And when I win tonight, I'm going to get a bonus. That was the feeling I had. I said to myself, I'm going to get a bonus. And when I get the 50,000 bonus, when the UFC post, performance of the night bonus, I was thinking, when I get the bonus, I want to post this and this. Post the $7 and the performance of the night bonus so that people know that this morning I had $7, but now I had extra $50,000. And unfortunately, I didn't get the bonus because, I went in there, grinded out the victory. Straight away from the bet, I was tired from the first punch I threw from that fight.
From being sick.
Yes.
Yeah. But no one knew it. Nobody knew that, right?
My coaches knew because they said to me my voice changed, but I didn't tell them. Nobody, except the guy in my room, Victor, my friend from Chile, who we only speak through Google Translate. He speaks Spanish and I speak English, so we talk via Google Translate. And he woke up and he smelled the Vicks in the room and everything. And I didn't tell him. He only knew that. I don't know if he went and told the coaches that the Themba is sick. But, I tried to hide away. I didn't tell her. I don't. If I tell you I'm sick, what is it going to help?
Right. Yeah. It's not as if you're going to pull out or anything like that.
Yeah. If I pull out of the fight, I'm going to go home again. Obviously, you get a flight back home, which is already booked by the UFC. But you're not going to get paid because you didn't fight. So, if I didn't fight, I'm not going to get paid. Now, I'm in the same situation I was 3-4 weeks ago. I must go back home again without nothing, and I don't know when I can come back. I don't have money to come back to America to train. I don't have anything in South Africa anymore as well. I have a gym, but that gym is taking a lot of money out of me. I can't even afford to keep the gym anymore.
It sounds so hopeless, doesn't it? Like it's like a hopeless situation for you. It must have been a lot of strain on your heart and your head, brother.
Yeah, I was very emotional that day. I didn't know because also I was coming off a loss. And, you lose in the next fight and you're on a 2-fight skid now in the UFC, bro. And with the way I got into the UFC also, I started questioning, I had already doubts on myself as a person. I'm like, am I good enough? Maybe I'm not good. But I knew that I was winning the fight. But, you start questioning yourself. No, you are human. You start questioning. And, you go and lose. You go in there, whether you're sick or not, you go and lose another fight, bro. You are probably on your way out.
Yeah.
And you are putting your job on the line. And, I threw the first punch and I was tired.
How's that feel?
And I grabbed this guy, Takashi, when I was grabbing him. For some reason, I'm breathing heavy, but he was breathing even heavier. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to have to ride this out. And we're going to have to try and fight out and find out who give in first. And, I kept riding the storm, and God bless me with the win. And I won that fight. Even if you see the post-fight speech, I couldn't speak properly because my heart was, even at the press conference, I still couldn't speak properly.
Yep.
Because why? I was still, my heart was not stable.
But you said you were going to call out a couple of fighters at that press conference, but you decided to renege on that.
Because of Jason House. Jason House is a smart man.
Yeah.
He told me when we were walking back, he says to me, hey, calm down.
Yeah.
Let the career be. Don't go out there and be stupid and try to call out people now.
Yeah.
Which is a very smart thing because, sometimes as fighters, we have ego. We want to be something quickly. And we don't want to listen to anybody. We want to be, we think, as a man already, you are trying to be something in this life. And you might make emotional decisions based on emotions. And sometimes it's good to have people that are clear mind to tell you, hey, slow down. And if you listen to them, you hopefully make it,
See, it's about having the right people in your team, guys. That's what it's about, surrounding yourself with greatness and surrounding yourself with people that inspire you and love you and care about you. And someone that inspires me is this man that's sitting right across from me right now. Themba, when John told me that he was going to be able to get you on the podcast, once again, man, I was so happy. I could sit here and talk to you for 3 hours, but, it's a 1 hour show. But I just want to say, man, what's your message? What is your message to people?
The biggest message I want to give to people is message. I don't want to command people. For me, I'm not a role model. Like, I was watching the UFC the other day. Joe Pfeiffer said, even though I didn't agree with some of the stuff that he said at the press conference, but I know it's out of whatever. We are humans. We make mistakes. And if we can apologize from our mistakes, it's great. But, I loved his speech when he said, I'm not a role model. But I just want to be an inspiration. Same applies with me. I don't want to be a role model. I don't want to people look at me. I want to be.
You're gonna be though, bro. You're gonna be. Unfortunately,
no. But when you say role model, then people want to dictate how you live your life. How you should live your life. You should be a role model. Is somebody that people think that okay, cool. Like I had these people that. Coming back to soccer, that looked up to Messi and stuff like that. And there's a time and point that I remember the people I'm back in when Africa, when Messi put on tattoos on his leg or whatsoever, then people started just saying, oh,
they don't like it.
They don't like it. So now you want to dictate someone's life, how they should live. Oh, no tattoos, no this, no that. If I wake up one day, I decide to drink alcohol, I just decide to smoke weed, I decide to smoke cigarettes, it's my time and moment that I want to be in that moment. That's what I want to be in that time. I don't it is.
So it's an added responsibility that shouldn't really have to hold that responsibility of role model,
a role
right?
model, someone that wants to be a role model, I think there's no role models. I just want to be an inspiration. I want to be able to be that guy that someone one day can wake up and say, when they're down, when they're feeling out, and they can go and look at me and be like, if that guy can do it, I can do it too.
From a person that's watched you and seen what you've done, I'll just tell you how it makes you feel. It makes me never want to complain about anything again, because when I see what you've gone through and what you've overcome and what you've been able to achieve and still be a decent human being, regardless of some of the flaws that you think you may have, it makes me never want to complain about things again. So you've helped me inadvertently without even realizing it, and I'm sure you do that to a lot of people.
I try to not walk around like my problems. In life, we should not walk around like our problems because the world has already a lot of problems. If I walk around like my problems, a lot of people will not want to be around me. I have a lot of problems as a person. I look like I'm a Superman. I'm not. I have a lot of problems. For those that are very close to me, know probably what I'm. Even now, when we're sitting here, you might think, "Oh, okay, cool, he's okay." Probably I'm not. I'm probably not. I'm talking to you in a positive way, but probably inside something is hurting.
And you really want to jump across and start strangling me?
No.
I'm kidding.
Like, this is the moment I have to talk to you and talk to put the message out.
Yeah.
But if I have to. Like, I can tell you this, if I have to walk around like my problems, trust me, my friend. I mean, maybe I'm a good actor in terms of not to put out everything, and that is happening, in my life in times and moments. But if I could walk around like my problems, the world will not be a better place. So I try to not to walk around like my problems, because if I tell you my problem, what is it gonna help you?
Right.
You know, it's like I come in here and say I'm tired. Are you an energy drink?
Yeah.
Why must I tell you I'm tired? You are not an energy drink. You're not gonna boost my energy.
I can get you one from the fridge if you want.
Yeah, I understand. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
I get sometimes people come to me and be like, I'm tired. Like we are at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and it comes to me and tell me I'm tired. What do you want me to do? I'm not an energy drink. I'm not a coffee.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do is to put me in your situation so that we can
Bond. Yeah.
bond and feel the same way.
Yeah. Misery
No.
breeds misery, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Misery breeds misery. I don't want to be that person. You know, I try to walk around like, you know, the world is sunshine and rainbows, even if I'm hurting inside, which is great because somebody can be looking at me and be like, yeah, I want to be like, which is also not right because, you know, you can send other people into depression because then they don't feel good about themselves, you know.
Well, that's the
know.
thing. People do feel good about you, Themba, when they see your story. People do feel good.
Yeah, but I want to tell the people that, you know, I hurt most of the time.
Yep.
No.
Brother, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on the show. I really, really appreciate it. I could have sat here and talked to you for another hour because I didn't even get to any of my notes because we were too busy talking, but that's all good. That's how I like it.
I think what's authentic is authentic, you know. You need to speak from the heart. If we missed out something great, we will talk about it one day. If we spoke something that touches people in the wrong way and rubs people in the wrong way, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just speak what I want in my heart.
I love that
What is
about
in
you,
my
man.
heart. Yeah.
I love that. Themba.
Bless you, brother.
Bless you, brother.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you so much. Guys, today's episode was proudly sponsored by Riz Pharma. As I said, I'm going to leave all the information in the description. When it comes to male wellness, these guys are the juggernaut. Don't let it hang low. Don't let it go back. Riz Pharma, it's the way to go. This is the Marcus Deegan Show. We're out.
Thank you.
There we go.